series. And we will also offer an opportunity to ask questions and clarifications from staff and consultants. Kicking off introductions, my name is Daisy Moran. My pronouns are she, her, aya. I am the director for the Hunt and Diane Harris Center for Nonprofit Excellence. I reside in the Quad Cities and proud to have it as my hometown. I love doing this work because we get to connect with nonprofits and community members, help build capacity within our nonprofits, and together champion for our nonprofit sector as a whole. In my free time, I love to dance and I love enjoying the outdoors with my 3 dogs, and I'm currently planning a wedding for 2026. I will now pass it on to Kelly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Thompson. I'm the Vice President of Grant Making and Community Initiatives here at the Quad Cities Community Foundation. I've been in the Quad Cities pretty much my whole adult life. I came here by way of being born in Michigan and growing up in the Chicago suburbs. I love my work because we are always making connections to advance community opportunities with so many of you, because we can't do any of this alone. Outside of work, I am exploring the world with my toddler, who's going to turn 2 next week. And I love the outdoors, live music, reading, and local theater. And let's go to Michaela.
Hi, I'm Michaela, the administrative assistant for the Hunt and Diane Harris Center for Nonprofit Excellence. I was born and raised in the Quad Cities, been here my whole life, and I'm really excited to be able to support the work of the local nonprofits. In my free time, I like crocheting, spending time with family, and watching Disney movies. All right, next up is Mary Morton.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary Morton. I'm the president and founder of Morton Group LLC, and we'll tell you a little bit more about Morton Group in a little bit. But I love seeing the transformation of organizations and individuals, and it is something that I've seen throughout my work, but in particular in the last session of grantees that we had the opportunity to work with at Quad Cities. So we're excited to be back again to work with a new group of grantees. And in my spare time, I really like to bake. I make an incredible peach cobbler. I'm in my other life, I'm a filmmaker, and I like tap dancing. And so that's what I do when I'm not doing this work, and I'll pass it on to my colleague, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Mary. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mackenzie Deloach. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm also with Morton Group as the Special Projects and Operations Manager. I'm from North Carolina originally, but I've been in Chicago for the past 5 years. I really love doing this work, being able to support nonprofits that are doing a lot of really great work in their local communities. In my free time, similarly to Michaela, I also love to crochet, and I also play softball and love having movie nights with friends. And I will pass to Linda.
Good afternoon, Linda Waston. I am president and founder of Waston and Associates. We have been in, did I not unmute? I'm sorry. I'm Linda Waston. I am president and founder of Waston and Associates. We've been in the Quad Cities for 14 years now. I've lived in the Quad Cities for 28, if I did the math correctly. So feels like home now, but as you can see, I took a very circuitous route to get here. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, lived in Freeport and Rockford, Illinois, which is where I grew up, and then and was in North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Virginia before coming back to the Quad Cities. I love doing this work because I like to help nonprofits make their ideas happen. So they come up with an idea and we help them either develop the organizational infrastructure, the strong boards, or the plans to make those happen, and or we help them find the money to make their ideas happen. So seeing things happen in the community and knowing that we were a small part of it is incredibly rewarding. In my free time, I like to read. My husband and I like to go to musical theater, and I love going to the beach. If I'm not here, I'm probably at the beach. So, and I will turn it over to, I'm assuming, Ladrina.
Hi, everyone. I don't have quite as interesting as a journey as some of the other folks on the call, but what I can tell you is, Mary, I've met my match because I love peach cobbler, and as it luck would have it, I love eating other people's peach cobbler. So I'm
A match made in heaven.
um, ultimately, I love the opportunity to connect and build with people, right? Co-construction and co-creation is where I feel like the magic happens, and so I love coming alongside organizations to help them build a brighter future and be innovative. A fun fact about me and my family is that twins actually run in my family. I know a lot of people say that, but we actually have a medical condition. So I'm one of the few female cousins that does not have twins, and I consider myself very lucky in that way.
Thank you so much, Ladrina, and the rest of our guest speakers. We'll hear a little bit more from them throughout the presentation. To kick off, we do have some group agreements since we are all coming to the space with different skills, experience, and levels of comfort with both nonprofit leadership and the Quad Cities Community Foundation. We wanted to set up expectations for how we will engage with each other today. Our first group agreement is freedom to speak in first draft, aka your question doesn't have to be perfectly worded. Please feel free to ask any questions throughout the chat box or unmute yourself during appropriate time at the end of discussion towards the end of our presentation. Clear is kind. We will do our best to be transparent as possible, and we welcome questions for clarity if something is not clear for you throughout the presentation. And then we welcome all feedback. So if you see any feedback, particular with the program or the presentation itself, we welcome all types of feedback as well. Michaela is going to go ahead and launch a poll in just a few seconds to get a feel for how everyone is arriving to our session today. Our first poll question is, how did you hear about our flagship program? Was it through the Quad Cities Community Foundation, a nonprofit staff at your organization, or one that you volunteer with? Social media such as LinkedIn, Facebook? Did you get an email forwarded to you, or other forms of communication? All right, and thank you, Michaela, for showing the results. It seems that we have a majority. It came from the Quad Cities Community Foundation. Not close second, but a second response is the nonprofit staff. And then we also have others. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We do have a second poll question. We recognize that you may have multiple roles. Please select one that's most relevant to you for your reason for being here today. Is it because you are an inspiring board member? Are you a current board member? Are you a corporate philanthropy partner, nonprofit staff, nonprofit development officer, fundraiser, or nonprofit CEO and executive director? Thank you, Michaela, for showing the results. It looks like we have a good mix of a little bit of everything. So we appreciate all the many roles that you wear in our community to help strengthen our nonprofit sector and our community as a whole. Kelly will now provide an overview of the Quad Cities Community Foundation.
Thanks, Daisy. So if you're like me, perhaps, and you have a role as someone who works for or serves a nonprofit, then you probably initially got to know us through our most common role as a grant maker, right? We provide competitive grants that people can apply for, hopefully get a yes, hopefully get a grant payment. And we do so much more. That grant making role helped us explore what needs were out there to create the Center for Nonprofit Excellence. But even before that, we have a long history as an endowment builder, both from nonprofits directly and from the many donors who care about the sector, to grow long-term permanent resources for the support of your missions, those most common unrestricted grants that go out from us every year. We are a finder of funding. We work together on many different community initiatives, some with the very people on this call, related to housing, related to disaster response and recovery, related to education. And not for nothing, but if you have people in your life that are in the midst of or about to start their undergraduate, college, university, associate's journey, or in the midst of it, we do have scholarships open right now, which will be awarded next spring for people going into their next year of education. So you can find all of this through connecting with us. You can also find tons of information on our website related to this and other resources that we connect you with through our resource link page, which you can see now. And then in not too long, you can see a great overhaul that will be done by Michaela Grislow. So thank you for connecting with us, and let's go in a little bit more detail into what the Center for Nonprofit Excellence is doing now.
Daisy, you are currently muted.
Thank you, Ladrina. I appreciate it. And thank you, Kelly, for providing an overview of the Quad Cities Community Foundation. Through the Hunt and Diane Harris Center for Nonprofit Excellence, we provide monthly peer network groups, expert-led training opportunities, and high-quality resources to help strengthen the nonprofit sector as a connector, capacity builder, and champion for our region. The Harris Center's work is guided by our 3 values: by nonprofits for nonprofits. The Community Foundation has designed the Harris Center to be led by nonprofits, meaning that from the beginning, the people and organizations are not only served, but actively participate in shaping the offerings. The Harris Center is guided by the evaluated needs and preferences of our nonprofit sector and by our advisory committee compressing of 15 local nonprofit leaders representing diverse organizations in terms of type, size, individual, and organizational demographics and professions. Our second value is equity at the center. Programs and services are developed and conducted with an equity lens to work against the existing disparities present in our sector and to engage the strength of all that benefit for our community. A contextual, continuous, and collective approach is our third value. The Harris Center's programs and resources offer different entry points for the greatest impact and meaningful choice by different organizations. Programs are designed to be ongoing, because meaningful change takes time and doesn't happen after just one learning experience. Participants gain valuable insights through shared learning, which benefit not only themselves and their organizations, but also strengthens the nonprofit and philanthropic sectors in the Quad Cities. On a monthly basis, advisory members provide guidance on the Harris Center's offerings based on assessments, evaluations, and their valuable experiences and expertise. Now we will transition to provide an overview of each flagship program. The first one is our effective nonprofit management cohort. And the next slide, our partner consultant, Mary Morton, will deliver the program will deliver an overview of the Morton Group.
Thanks so much, Daisy. Morton Group is actually entering its 25th year, which is hard to believe. It's even hard for me to say. But we really focus on several areas. We're a national consulting group, and so we've worked in Bozeman, Montana. We've worked in New York and LA, just really all over the country. And we focus on several areas. We focus on organizational development, which we'll be doing a lot of that particular work with this next cohort. And we also include things like resource development and strategic planning and board development as well. And so we want to work, of course, in sync with the work that will be happening in the other group as well. We also work in the areas of racial equity, access, diversity, and inclusion. And we meet people where they are in all of our practice areas, but think that this work continues. It's very important. And we've taken into consideration how that work must be done in a new environment, if you will. So we spent the last year really reimagining our ready work and presenting it in a different container, if you will. We also work in the areas of research. So for instance, we just completed a national assessment for Girls Inc., an organization that's headquartered in New York. And we do that with a host of universities and other nonprofit organizations. And the last area that we work in is executive search, executive placement. So we conduct searches primarily for CEOs and executive directors. However, we also do include senior team members as well in that executive placement work. We are intentionally a cross-generational, multiracial group that is intentional because we want to have the diversity of opinions and ideas as we carry out our work. And our values include integrity, justice, community, compassion and empathy, curiosity, humor, and joy. So we think it's really important to work very hard, but we also like to play hard as well. Anything else I should add at this point, Daisy?
No, thank you so much, Mary. I greatly appreciate it. On your screen, you do see the program consultants that are part of the effective nonprofit management cohort, and these consultants will drop in throughout the various sessions of the cohort as well. With investment from the Quad Cities Community Foundation and the generous support of our donors, we are able to offer flagship programs at a significantly subsidized rate. Registration for effective nonprofit management cohort is $1,000 per organization, which includes participation for up to 3 team members. At the Quad Cities Community Foundation, we believe all nonprofits deserve equitable access to expert-led programs with high-quality resources, and we offer scholarships to ensure cost is never a barrier to participating. In this cohort, teams of up to 3 people from 15 nonprofit organizations will participate in 4 3-hour sessions over an 8-week period. Participants will start with an organizational assessment and create an organizational learning development plan, meaning that throughout the program, you will have check-ins to see how you are implementing learning into your organization and how are you tracking your development goals. So support to implement their learnings and development plans and receive practical tools and have access to one-on-one coaching and build a network of supportive peers. This cohort covers 4 interactive sessions focused on topics identified as priorities by local nonprofits, which include leadership and management, finance, fundraising, storytelling, and marketing. To accommodate the differing organizational needs of fundamentals in advance, there will be 2 breakout groups during the in-person sessions. Each session includes pre-work and 1-year access to our digital learning library with on-demand learning modules from the effective nonprofit management cohort. And these along with the modules, we will have templates and sample documents to support real-world application. As an added bonus, participants will be eligible for certified fundraising executive credits. Mary, I do have a question for you. What do you tend for people to walk away with after they attend the in-person cohort sessions and follow-up virtual one-on-one coaching?
You know, I think one of the many wonderful things about this program is that we will have the grantee partners complete an organizational assessment. And that means that we can meet the grantee organizations where they are, understanding that the room is going to be very mixed, right? We'll have small nonprofits, we'll have larger nonprofits, we'll have startups as we did in our first round. And it means that when you leave the session, you will have actual information that you can put into place. And in fact, the learning development plan is where we will track that. How are you actually using the information that you've received in the session? We sometimes get very excited when we come to a session and, you know, it's great ideas. And then we follow up and we find out that there hasn't necessarily been any movement. And with the materials that we're going to provide, as well as the one-to-one coaching, we hope that that will really encourage you and help you move along on your learning development plan. The coaching is so critical because you get to ask specific questions about your organization. And sometimes, while there's often and always times for questions during the larger session, we can't go into as much detail as we can when we do one-to-one coaching. So looking forward to one-to-one coaching. It's an opportunity where it's just about you and your organization and any opportunities or challenges that you want to discuss with us.
Thank you so much, Mary. And I do have a follow-up question. How can you see participants using the learning materials with their organizations?
I think Mackenzie will take that.
Yeah, I can jump in. So as Daisy mentioned, there will be supplementary documents and materials uploaded to that digital library, as well as a couple of video materials. And we really think that these templates, resources, documents will help you and your entire organization engage with the program, not just the person who is actually attending themselves. So, for example, some of the templates that you'll have are sample development plans, sample budget plans. We have some tools to help you really home in on the unique talents, skills, interests that your team currently brings or wants to bring to the table. So you can really capitalize on those strengths and those assets. Some storytelling exercises in our marketing and storytelling workshop that you can use with your staff or your board, or even volunteers, your program participants, that will equip them with the tools to be effective ambassadors for your organization, essentially. So this program really is about strengthening the capacity of your organization as a whole, and these materials will help enable that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mary Mackenzie, for those additional insights. The primary audience for effective nonprofit management cohort is we require that each organization commit to selecting at least 2 to 3 people who will participate in all 4 sessions of the cohort program. This model helps support implementing learnings into the organization. To maximize the program's impact on all levels of your organization, we recommend sending the CEO or executive director, as well as people at other levels of responsibility, for example, directors, direct service staff, and/or a board member. For organizations with smaller staff, we recommend sending the CEO or executive director and 1 additional staff member if applicable, and/or 1 to 2 board members to help support the CEO and executive director. Participants will receive a program completion certificate for attending all 4 sessions. In the next slide, we will hear from our program alum, Sarah Wright, and then pause for questions on the overview of effective nonprofit management. Oops. All right, Sarah Wright, you have the floor.
Hi, everyone. This is Sarah, and I am an alumni. I had a great experience, and what I really found very informative about it was being able to network with the other participants in the session, and actually learning a little bit more about each of those nonprofits. And then some of the mixers and some of the things that were led by this organization were really, really fun. And I just found it very beneficial.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And do you have any advice for nonprofit professionals on how to participate with time management in these in-person sessions?
Sorry, was time management?
Yes, I just wanted to see your perspective as a nonprofit professional, and how did you prioritize attending the in-person sessions and participating in this program?
Oh, it was great because I was able to bring a staff member with me, and we could talk about what we could do to implement some of the ideas in the sessions, and to have that staff support that way was great. And also being able to talk about managing the workload as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sarah. We greatly appreciate your testimonial. At this time, we will pause for any overall questions on effective nonprofit management cohort before we move on to our second flagship program. All right, as there are no questions, as a reminder, you can use the chat box to have any questions throughout the presentation. Our next flagship program is Strong Board Governance, and we will provide you an overview. With the investment from the Quad Cities Community Foundation and the generous support of our donors, we are able to offer Strong Board Governance series at $100 per session for each participant. Early bird pricing and bundle options are available to ensure that cost is never a barrier to participation. Scholarships will be available beginning March 14th, 2026, after the early bird pricing has completed. Strong Board Governance series is delivered in partnership with Wastons and Associates and Iman Consulting. Participants can register for any of the 6 90-minute in-person sessions or attend the full series at a discounted rate. Over 6 months, participants will engage in interactive sessions that cover the key factors of successful board leadership. Each session includes pre-work and 1-year access to a digital library with on-demand learning modules, templates, and sample documents to support real-world application to enhance board meetings. Participants will earn a digital certificate after watching all 12 learning modules, and participants who attend all 6 in-person sessions will receive a program completion certificate. After each session, participants can schedule a one-on-one coaching session to identify and address challenges and receive support in implementing learnings within participants' board's goals. As an added bonus, participants will be eligible for social work continuing education units and certified fundraising executive credits. In our inaugural year, we had a wide range of experience levels, from long-time nonprofit executives and board members to brand new board chairs to individuals inspiring to serve on a board someday. We welcome current board members, nonprofit CEOs and executive directors, nonprofit development staff, corporate philanthropy partners, and individuals not currently serving on a board who want to learn proven strategies for building and strengthening effective boards. During each session, consultants will guide small group discussions on case studies with 2 main goals: to help participants reflect on and explore how to implement enhanced board governance practices within their own organizations, and to foster peer learning in which participants share insights and strategies that have worked well for their nonprofits and board members. Linda, I have a question for you. What should people expect when they attend one or more of these sessions?
Well, I think the sessions are intended to build upon the videos and the supplemental material that we expect everyone to have reviewed ahead of time, kind of in a flipped classroom environment. And so really we're building upon that by sharing case studies, by answering questions, by having discussions. On some of those we'll go a little bit deeper if there's a topic that we feel warrants more explanation than perhaps a 15-minute video can provide. It's also an opportunity to share what works for your organization, what doesn't work for your organization, and to do a lot of peer learning as well, and to get to know your fellow nonprofits and people who might be looking to serve on a board. So I think some of that inter-agency conversation was probably some of the most valuable.
Thank you, Linda. Participants who register for any of the sessions will receive 1-year access to our digital library featuring 12 concise 15-minute learning modules for easy viewing. The library also includes supplemental materials such as templates to enhance your board meetings, and below is a list of the video modules included. Ladrina, what do you intend for people to walk away with after they complete the pre-work and attend the in-person sessions? And Ladrina, you are on mute.
Suppose I had to return the favor, right? So I think a couple of things that stand out to me that maybe differentiate this program from other programs is the community and connection that is built. We've seen people who chose to go to 1 or 2 sessions, and of course we had a handful of people that did all of the sessions, but this ability to take these videos and then come into community with each other to share what you've learned that's different from other people, or where there was commonalities and those kind of aha moments. I also think that the unique format of this, where you have this digital library, but also the in-person component, gives you the ability to test out and apply some of the learning that you've gained from the video in a kind of safe and sterile environment. You don't have to just try it out in the boardroom, although you can if you so choose. I think the information is accessible enough to do that. But most specifically, I love that we're doing, situational analysis with these case studies. I think that's where the rubber has really met the road. And I love the fact that we're flexible with the folks who are in attendance. It could be a room of 30 or 40 people, even more sometimes. And if you tell us what you want to talk about and it's a little bit different than what we had planned, we'll lean into that and meet people where they're at to give them what they need in the moment.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Linda and Ladrina, you both have served and worked with boards. How can you see participants using these digital materials with their boards?
I think that's also one of the unique aspects of this program because you have access to this digital library for a year. So I know some organizations, they would show one of the videos with their board members or download some of the materials and share it with their board. It's a way to extend learning to your entire board. There are a series of discussion questions that we share in the supplemental materials, so you can have a discussion with your board that kind of mirrors what we're talking about in the sessions themselves. So that's where I see some value with your board.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I might add to that is board members are really busy. And as much as we'd love for them to have full availability to us if we are in that executive director position or CEO position, the reality of it is they don't have the time. These are snippets of information that maybe in some instances you've already tried to share or convey, but you're getting a third party that's now saying, hey, this is a best practice. And it could be the nudge that people need to re-engage or to get more involved or really take their giving seriously or to a different level, or even their fundraising for that matter, and development activity as board members. So I think there's a lot of flexibility in how you choose to use it. And I would say that, folks who are in the decision-making spaces, your boards better than we do. And so because we have this digital library, because we have those supplemental materials, you really can have the option to do whatever you choose with it for up to a year.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Linda and Ladrina. In our next slide, we will hear from program alum Erica Gunn and Kenneth Washington. Afterwards, we will pause for questions on the overview of Strong Board Governance series, and then we will dive into overall questions for staff and program consultants. First up is Erica Gunn, and then we will hear from Kenneth Washington. Erica, as a nonprofit leader, what has been your experience participating in the series?
The experience was amazing. I really loved just that kind of flexibility of being able to watch the videos and then attend those sessions. And I think it made it really possible for everybody to be involved. I was able to attend every session. And if you saw my calendar, I think like many of you, it's insanely busy and we've got a lot of projects going on, but we really were able to make time for this because it's just as important as every other project we have going. So it was really nice. Key takeaway for me was that I was surprised how easy it was to use all of these templates. Like that was the most plug and play, but useful and effective part of this, I think, was that we could just take those immediately and run with it. An example of that is we're just completely redoing our board orientation. And it's really important for us because that's been one of our goals is growing our board just a little and bringing on the right people and the right diversity and the right just experiences to help us connect with our community, I think, in the best ways that we can. We really want to help people as much as we want to help pets. Everybody thinks of the animals with us, but just as much the people behind it. And so that's just been really great for us through this experience.
Thank you so much, Erica. Kenneth, as an inspiring board member, what was your experience participating in the series? And Kenneth, I believe you're on mute or we cannot hear you. No, I'm sorry, we cannot hear you.
There's got to be a little irony in this that he's in IT. So if anybody can fix it, it's going to be Kenneth.
Sorry, Kenneth, we cannot hear you. We can come back to you at the end of the presentation, and or you can use the chat as well to write your reflection. Apologies for the technical issues. as Kenneth is working through the tech, we do have space now for overall questions, either to Quad Cities Community Foundation staff members and or any of our program consultants from either program. This is the time where you can unmute yourself and ask a question or use the chat box as well.
If I can handle awkward silence, but I really do want to make sure I speak about Kenneth if he's not going to get a chance to join. Kenneth was a great example of how you can be at any level in an organization or any level of experience and still contribute to the environment that the program allows for in strong board governance. He came in and tried to hold space for other people who were subject matter experts, but had so many insightful things to contribute as a novice in this space. And so it was an honor and a privilege to be in the room every time he was there, because he brought so much energy and great questions that even challenged experienced executive directors to think about, how do you recruit people who are new to board service? So for what it's worth, I at least wanted to express my gratitude for having a chance to be able to connect with Kenneth through the program.
Yes, thank you so much, Ladrina. And I personally witnessed Kenneth to connect with other nonprofits that have open board positions. So hopefully sparking that connection and sparking that opportunity of new recruitments for boards and having the space to have those connections and meaningful conversations as well.
I just also wanted to add just a piece to follow up on something Linda had mentioned, and that is the networking that happens in these groups is really pretty extraordinary. We had folks in real time connect with each other and figure out how to help each other carry out some of their work that they had really been challenged by. And so it was really quite lovely to see that happen right in front of our faces. And that is something that I think might not be highlighted as important as it actually becomes throughout the session. So just want to encourage folks to think about attending, because you will meet people that will be very supportive of your work and you of theirs, and it's really a beautiful thing when it happens.
Mic check, mic check.
There you go.
Yes.
Great. Sorry about that. Hang up. I'm in a new room and I had some patches get pushed to my PC, so I'm going through technical difficulties, but I did want to share my testimonial. My experience with the Strong Board of Governance series was incredibly valuable, especially as someone preparing for future board service. The sessions that stood out to me the most were the ones that focused on board member responsibilities, how to effectively engage board members, and the board's role in development itself. The program did a great job breaking down concepts like the differences between a working board and a governing board, the legal responsibilities that come with board service, and what effective board staff relationships look like. Those discussions really clarified for me the healthy governance requirements of what board members must bring to the table. I also found that the sections on running effective board meetings and understanding the board's role in organizational development are particularly impactful. Those topics gave me practical tools and clear frameworks for leadership, not just board work, but for professional growth as well. I would say as a full-time corporate employee, I just made priority of the sessions and block time on my calendar like I would do for other professional development engagements. And I made it sure that it was structured and manageable. Overall, I think that I understand the responsive, what's needed, how to be engaged, and what an actual effective board service looks like. Due to some of our case studies and feedback that we had with our group interactions, it really strengthened my confidence to step into that kind of role in the upcoming future. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kenneth. We appreciate your testimonial. did want to give a little bit more time for questions. However, if there are no overall questions, we would love to give you back the gift of time. As always, we do have availability for one-on-ones with any of our staff members to provide more insights of either program and/or scholarship opportunities. And you can reach us by phone or through email. Kelly, is
Casey?
there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, we have a great, very practical question in the chat. Is that what do I do next? Where do I go to sign up and qualify for the scholarships or the early bird discounts?
Great question. Registration is live and open. It opened today. It is listed on our website at our web pages for effective nonprofit management and strong board governance, and we will link those web pages in the chat right now. And registration will be open for effective nonprofit management until the cohort is filled or until January 17th. And then strong board governance will be on a rolling registration basis, meaning you can register before the series starts or throughout the series as the sessions are progressing. Thank you, Kelly, for adding those links in the chat. All right, it seems there are no further questions. Like I stated before, please don't hesitate to reach out to set up a meeting or a call with any of our staff members. We're more than welcome to walk through any of your questions. And thank you so much for spending the afternoon with us. And we hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day and week.
Take care, everyone. Are we all staying on? It looks like.